Oh, no, he didn't.
Girl, yes, he did.
Hey, girl, hey.
What's up?
How are you?
I'm great.
How's self-isolation going? And can you tell a difference between normal?
No, other than the fact that I'm not traveling. That's the only thing keeping me down, holding me back.
Holding me back. How you feel in general, mentally?
I'm okay. I'm still fine. You know, I know they're talking about opening the country up in phases, and I'm just gonna let y'all go through the first wave. And
Yeah, y'all can have that. I have no FOMO on getting out
I'm
first.
not headed to anybody's beach anytime soon. I promise you that.
Yeah, I think mentally, last week I shared that it was the first trip that I had planned that obviously was canceled. So up until last week, I didn't really notice that something had really been that different. And then that was the first time that I was like, oh yeah, that was supposed to be happening or something like that. So I had a little bit of a moment. I got a burrito and then it was okay.
Yeah, I felt that early on too because I had to cancel my birthday trip.
That's right. That's right.
So,
yes, you got it early on. So that was my first one. And a lot of people have been getting it between proms and graduations and showers and stuff. So that was my first one.
Yeah.
And so now I'm kind of mentally back into the mode of, okay, let me get busy and be ready for when we are ready. But that still ain't a minute for me.
Yeah.
As far as dating, do you have any more pandemic dating stories for us?
No, because I haven't gotten back on the app since then. So yeah, I don't know. Maybe if we're still stuck, I may have fun. Let me tell y'all what's horrible though. Facebook dating app is the worst app.
Oh, I took that off my phone a while ago.
I didn't take it off, and so I actually looked at it today because they keep sending me notifications, and I'm like, all these people, they like you and stuff like that. But if you scroll through these people, it's like, where are these people?
They mostly look like they are in prison.
Yeah, with the white brick wall behind them.
Yeah. Facebook dating seems like something that
they got to do better than that. That's not even. You would think Facebook has the resources to do better, and the pool from which to pick better.
Is working for somebody. I still haven't gotten that board, and so that's probably positive. You know, we sometimes talk about ghosts from Christmas past. I kind of been dealing with a few, and just trying to figure out. You know, it's interesting because when you do hear from somebody from your past, especially in a pandemic, this is our first time here. So you can kind of exchange pleasantries and memories and thoughts and ideas, and even anticipation of new memories. It's really kind of like weird because you can't move on anything. It's just like, okay.
Right. And then do you think sometimes it's like getting your hopes up for nothing? Because once things go back to normal, maybe it may change.
Right. Like, is it just bored? Right. Exactly.
Right.
So I've had a couple of those where I'm just kind of like, I'm good.
Yeah.
So, but this week we have a topic we want to talk about, and it's compatibility versus chemistry. So, can you think of a time where you had absolute chemistry with somebody and it didn't work, and you had perfect compatibility with somebody, it didn't work? I would assume you have both, since it ain't work with nobody. It had the
right. Well, yeah. In the end, yeah. Probably more compatibility has not worked out for me.
Compatibility.
Yeah.
Why?
Because I tend to like people who like the same things as me, especially around sports and stuff like that. And I just don't think that's attractive from a man's perspective of a woman. You know,
that you like sports?
Huh?
What do you think is not attractive that you like?
Well, they claim it is, but I mean, if we're compatible on that sense, and we like to, you know, do those things together and talk about them, because you know, I'm very vocal. So,
why do you think that's not attractive? Is it because
I don't know? Well, it hasn't worked out. That's what
because you're very vocal, though.
Huh?
You can be a sports fan and not be as vocal.
Yeah, but that's not me.
You're a little loud about sports.
Yeah, it's not me. So, I mean, I've toned it down at times, but it's fun while it lasts. You know what I mean?
Right.
Because it is a compatible. We have that element. Like, I have people now that I don't talk to anymore that will still text me when the Alabama football game comes on. Like, oh, what you think about? You know, because we did connect on that level, but that was it.
Let me tell you what I think about sports and men and women and attraction. I think it's attractive to a man, and again, I'm speaking from a woman thinking for a man, but based on experience from working in sports and being a sports fan, not so much a fanatic, but I like I think it's attractive if you understand and enjoy sports. But I also think that they would rather enjoy sports without you.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's like, okay, that's cool. I love that you want to watch the game. I still would rather go watch the game with my boys and you somewhere else. So I think a lot of times guys see sports as their kind of escape, and that's great if you love it, but I really ain't trying to have you come do that with me.
Right. And so
I think that's
that's the thing, because I prefer to watch sports by myself anyway. So I've never been the one to want to hang around somebody's friends, and you know that just it doesn't vibe with me well anyway. I don't know what, but I think I've had more failed compatible relationships than whatever. All of them failed. But I think I was more compatible with people
that you just had a whole lot of chemistry with, but y'all really weren't compatible, but y'all still were holding on because there was still something there, some kind of spark there.
Maybe one that I can think of that was an actual relationship. There was definitely chemistry there, but we weren't really on the same page as far as anything else, you know.
I would say if I had to, I would say obviously I've had both chemistry and compatibility, but I find that the compatibility ones work less often because to me, a lot of times when I say compatibility, it usually just means it looks good on paper. It sounds good on paper. It seems like this should work, and there's nothing that makes it work other than it sounds good. We've checked all the boxes, whether it's demographic or location or geographic or all that kind of stuff. But then there's still something that's not pushing us along. Whereas I found in situations that were strictly based on chemistry and not necessarily because it made sense, we had more of a pull to each other that caused it to go along for longer.
Yeah.
That's making sense, I guess. If I had to pick one or the other, because with compatibility, a lot of times people say opposites attract. So a lot of times people would discount accountability because it's like, oh, well, I'm really bad with money and he's really good with money. And so we balance each other out. Or, oh, I'm this way and he's the opposite. At some point, all those things that you find so cute and attractive that are so opposite, they go from balancing each other out to, okay, we ain't got nothing in common. Like, you know, so now him being good with money and you being bad with money is a source of tension and stress.
Yeah.
Because, well, you knew I was like that when we got together, you know. So I think if I had to pick one or the other, at this day and age in my life, I would pick chemistry.
Okay.
Over compatibility, only because compatibility, I think, speaks to more traditional concepts that I probably
I wasn't really thinking about compatibility that way. So I mean, I guess
I think of compatibility as, oh, you both want to get married, oh, you both want to have kids, oh, you both, you know, live in that city, oh, you both.
My compatibility was so basic.
Right. So for me, I feel like that kind of goes more on traditional norms of why people would be together versus, you know, I'm open to dating anybody, and they might not look like me, be from where I'm from, be in my age range of, you know, and I would be more excited and interested in that than somebody who would seem compatible, I guess.
On paper.
On paper. Because one time I remember dating a guy, and I remember I kept saying, man, he is so great on paper. But dating him was like dating a piece of paper. It was nothing.
Well, yeah, I've done that too.
And you want it to work, but you can't manufacture chemistry. So that's why I think chemistry is more important.
I probably would definitely choose chemistry. But here's the thing about chemistry: does it last? Or if it doesn't, how do you make it last?
So it's kind of like the difference between, not really to base it down to love or lust or in love or love, you know, all those different things that can run out. But I think with chemistry, to me, in my thought of chemistry, yes, it can run out, and yes, it could not run out. It depends on what the chemistry is. It's a different science and connection. It might be, you know, that person is adventurous and you are, you know, whatever. They might always be that way. And so you always are drawn to that, you know. And sometimes, you know, chemistry is a limited time offer and it run out. And you're like, okay, you used to be this way and now you're not. That's why I like you.
Right.
So I don't know, but I would say most of my longer term situations, and by longer term I mean more than 35 minutes, were more chemistry driven than compatible. And now I don't even know who or what I would consider compatible with me, now that I'm being more realistic about who and how I am.
Mm-hmm.
That would be asking a lot of somebody to be compatible with me.
Because you run the gamut.
I don't look like that day. I can't ask you to be a part of that.
That's true.
You know what I'm saying? Like, the older I get, I think when you're younger, you feel like, hey, I'm this, and this, and it ain't that hard. And I do still think it's not that hard, but I have an appreciation of how it ain't that easy. And so I think that's why I'm more chemistry-based than compatible-based, because by the time I tell you I really like this and want to do this, and then you kind of dial into that, I'm like, why are you always talking to me about that? Because you said you liked it. Okay, I said that last week. I don't like that no more.
That was totally last night when we discussed it.
Like, seriously.
It's
like,
totally a new day.
Why you keep talking to me about that?
You know, I don't know. I mean, in the perfect world, you want a little sprinkle of both, you know?
Perfect world.
And a balance of both. Like, when compatibility, I don't see compatibility as something that we do everything together and we like the same things, but there's something, you know, maybe it is a little deeper than that. But so he has his life, I have my life. He has his things that his goals and his accomplishments, and then you have some together as well.
But see, that's what I think. I think sometimes with the compatibility, we were looking at a video together that discussed this topic of compatibility, and in the couple they had in this. Oh, and also we want to thank Crystal T. Ash, one of our listeners and followers, for sending.
And she's one of our Patreons too.
And she's one of our patrons. So Crystal, thank you for sending that to us. That's why we're talking about this today. But in that particular video that we looked at, it was based on them having different interests. They had chemistry, but they had different interests. And so I think the issue with compatibility, sometimes people make it so specific to a thing. Like, okay, do I enjoy old movies? Do I enjoy camping? It's really got to be a thing where I have an appreciation for your appreciation of that. Not that I appreciate that, but I appreciate that you have something you love because I have something I love. And if that means we don't talk to each other during that time, I know how I am about this.
Right. So because like she was calling him during the game.
Right. It don't mean that I'm like that.
Right.
It just means I can appreciate. Right. I was saying that about somebody who loves golf. People who love golf tend to be somewhat obsessive about it. Mm-hmm. I would love to have a golf type thing that I would want to do all the time, every day. And so that's the thing. I'm like, well, let me find something. You know, I have a lot of things I enjoy doing sometime.
Right.
I don't have anything that I want to do all the time, every day.
Yeah, we talked about that the other day because I was saying how golf is one of those things that people who I know love golf. And
obsessed.
Golf every day, all day. And I don't know of another hobby, and maybe you guys can come up with some. I don't know of another hobby that equates to that for most people.
Right. So as a woman, if you're trying to date a guy who loves golf, you have to have an appreciation, not necessarily for golf, but for his obsession of golf. Mm-hmm. Because that probably ain't gonna never be nothing you're gonna be able to talk to him about not doing.
Yeah. And then you have to find something you do, because golf
go busy yourself.
But it does not have to be one thing. It can be, he's going golfing this day, I'm going to give my manny a pedicure. And
it don't mean that you need to pick up golf.
No, definitely doesn't.
You probably prefer that you did not try to love the thing he loves.
Yeah. I made a mistake and told this guy one time that I was on the high school golf team, because I was. And he took me to a driving range, and it was cute at first. We had fun, but he ordered so many balls to hit.
And you didn't want to do it. You were like, I said high school.
I was hurting.
I won't do this no more.
He ordered me a bucket full and him a bucket full, and like after 3 balls, I was like, okay.
I don't want to do this no more. But that's the thing. So again, that made you compatible because, or maybe he says, hey, well, this is something we can have in common, or this is something we can do.
Yeah.
That don't always mean that either.
I didn't mean that though. I didn't say I love the game. I just said
golf is a great example, and that's kind of generally like a universal thing. But sometimes it's sports. It might be motorcycles. It might be, it could be anything. I've decided to give myself a new challenge of seeing if I can love landscaping and gardening, because I've never done it. Mm-hmm. My neighbor does a really great job with it, and I don't want to be the house on the block that don't do it. So it's almost like I'm a little competitive. I can't compete with what my neighbor does, but I do want to be in the game. I want to be on the field to play. So I've never done it, but just in me thinking about doing it, I've been researching, I've been looking at ideas, I've been pricing, I've been, been trying to, and I've been excited about saying, okay, maybe this can kind of be a thing for me. Not that if I met a guy, I need him to be into gardening. But if I tell him, hey, I'm gonna spend some time out in the yard today, that's the answer. I don't need you to be talking to me about nothing because you have your thing that you love to do. And again, I think compatibility is more of a mindset than more of an actual event, if that makes sense. And it might be, you know what, we're compatible enough to say, no, I don't love doing that, but you want me to do it with you. And so I can appreciate how much I want you to do the stuff you don't love with me. Right. So I will do it and not complain and make it miserable for you.
That's why I said a sprinkle of a little everything, a sprinkle of balance.
So we're sprinkling in chemistry, we're sprinkling in compatibility, we sprinkle in height and weight. Bank account, good credit, ambition, nice smile. We stir it up. So we're both going towards chemistry, I guess, right?
Yeah. At this point,
knowing that chemistry can run out. Now, talk to me.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I brought up. I brought that up.
It can run out, but I think I would rather enjoy the chemistry-based time than the compatibility-based time because both of them bound to run out.
Right.
With the likes of us.
and for those who are married and happy and married, I said happily married.
Those are two different concepts.
But for those of who are married, tell us in the comments what you do to keep that chemistry going, to keep that fire lit. Give us some techniques, what you and your spouse do.
Yeah. How do you keep it alive and exciting and interesting? And every day ain't gonna be Valentine's Day.
It's not.
I think it's unrealistic to think so. You got real life situations, you have real life challenges. But it's that thing about, and again, this might go to chemistry or attraction, but I just have this idea that person that walks in the room every time you see them, whether you're mad at them or not, it's just like, that's my person. Like, there they go. Now, don't say nothing to me because I'm mad at you. Right. But when they walk in, it's not, if I could never see him again in life. It's, he made me so sick how much.
Right. Yeah.
In a dream world. And that's what we talk about here on Oh No Girl Yes. Dream world. So let me ask you, do you think when we come out of this pandemic, and we've been talking about different ideas and concepts, do you think you will approach just socializing, not saying coronavirus related, I'm saying dating. Do you think you will approach it differently coming out of this? Will you be more actively involved in trying to date post-pandemic?
Okay, so yes and no.
Okay.
The reason I say yes is because you never, I think because this brought us all to our knees, basically, you see how much time you kind of let go.
And how much time you don't know you have left.
And this is totally out of our control, but it could happen again, now that we've seen this happen. So I think on that aspect, yes. I haven't had a yearning to do that, you know what I mean? So, I want to lean towards yes, but I kind of know who I am.
You don't want to lie to all of us right now. I look forward to, I'm going to take my time getting back out there. Like I said, I'm going to let all these other people be the guinea pig on this situation. But I do look forward to, and keep in mind, my new life coincided with the pandemic shutdown. So I left my job and was looking forward to a new existence that I haven't fully enjoyed. So I'm still looking forward to that initial existence. And so I don't know how much of that will be post-pandemic or just post my other life. So, but I'm looking forward to, getting out and enjoying things a little bit more. Because neither one of us have to get out to enjoy ourselves. And so now that we can't get out, it's not that I'm itching to get out because that was never my basis for enjoyment. Right. But I do look forward to being able to do it some.
I do too. I've been watching, we've been watching Insecure. We've been watching, all these others. And I just see all these actors and stuff, gather around at bars and stuff. And
right. When they're you
kind of miss that. Yeah. Not that we did it a lot. But the idea that we could go back out and be social and just meet people. Not necessarily meeting people or anything.
Because think about it, in our lifetime, we've never not been able to just go to a bar, or restaurant, and hang out with our friends. That's never happened. And so
we didn't grow up in the civil rights era.
That's what I'm saying. In our lifetime, that was our experience, you know.
Right.
And so even something as simple as, oh, let's go meet for a drink, that I think that hits differently than it used to. I mean, it used to be fun and interesting and we do it, but now it's like, okay, I'm gonna put on shoes.
Yeah.
You know? And then so I think that'll be a natural trickle down in the dating world too, potentially.
I agree.
Next time, you know, when that quarantine come back up in the winter, you have a quarantine bay. Maybe that's the focus. It's like, you know what? When I get out, I got about 3 months.
Find me a boy, because you know it's gonna flare back up.
It's gonna flare back up. I got 3 months to get my next quarantine bay together and situated. So just a heads up.
That would be a goal. That would be a goal.
Plan ahead. plan ahead for the next pandemic shutdown, guys. Okay, save your pennies.
That's it. Save your money and plan
quarantine bay lined up.
Right.
Even if that quarantine bay is the one that just brings you stuff and leave it on the porch and goes back away. Not nobody's gonna be up in here all the time.
Yeah.
Because you gotta be careful what you ask for.
Yeah.
All right, girlfriend. I am excited about what we've been able to do with the podcast, even in this context, and that we've been able to keep it going.
Yeah, and it pushed us to do our video. We were already on that verge anyway, so
that's what I was going to say. We were already trying to figure out what would be the video component of the podcast, and just by virtue of necessity, this has been it, and it's been working. And I think this will also lend us to getting that male guest, that we need to have that third box.
Mm-hmm.
We're working on that. I have a couple of men in mind. And when I say add a male guest, we've had a male guest before, but somebody who can add something to particular conversations,
right,
and not just be anti what we say, but have an interesting male perspective.
Yeah.
That we can receive and appreciate, and also, you know, learn from. Hopefully. That's the whole point of all this. Just talk through it. We ain't by ourselves in the struggle.
Right.
Oh no, he didn't.
Girl, yes he did.
You and that neck.